Welcome to RF Coins, today the ultimate place for coin lovers and collectors who want to discover hidden treasures in their pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1962 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that carries a huge legacy, rich history, and surprising value in today's collector market. So sit back, relax, and let's uncover everything about this historic penny that might be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The 1962 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins every year to keep up with a rapidly growing economy. This penny belongs to the classic Lincoln cent series that began in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, are still proudly visible under Lincoln's shoulder on modern cents. The 1962 penny stands as a perfect example of how craftsmanship, metal composition, and history merge into one collectible masterpiece. Let's start with the design. On the obverse side, you have the proud portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of honesty, leadership, and strength. Above his head, the word liberty reminds us of the freedom this nation values most. To the right, the date 1962 is boldly struck, followed by the small letter D for the Denver Mint. Turn the coin around and you'll see the reverse side featuring the magnificent Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The tiny figure of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial can actually be seen under magnification, a small detail that many collectors love. The inscriptions United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent give the coin its identity and national pride. Now let's talk about its composition. The 1962 Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the same high-quality alloy used before the mint switched to a copper-coated zinc composition in 1982. Because of this, older pennies like the 1962 have a higher intrinsic metal value. In fact, the copper content alone is worth more than 1 cent today, giving these coins added appeal among both collectors and metal enthusiasts. When it comes to minting, over 1.79 billion Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint in 1962, making it a common date in circulation. However, not all coins are created equal. The condition, luster, and strike quality can turn an ordinary penny into a rare gem. Circulated coins, those with visible wear from everyday use, are usually worth between 5 and 15 cents. But if you find an uncirculated example with full red luster, the value can shoot up dramatically. In pristine mint state condition, a 1962 Lincoln cent graded MS-67 red can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction. Yes, hundreds. For a penny that once bought a stick of gum, collectors pay close attention to the color grading of copper coins: brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and full red, RD. A full red coin from 1962 that still gleams as it did the day it was struck can easily command premium prices in the current market. For example, a perfect MS-67 RD 1962 Lincoln penny once sold for nearly $898,959, making it one of the most stunning modern coin finds ever recorded. While such examples are extremely rare, they prove how valuable condition and preservation can be. But the story doesn't stop at condition. The 1962 Lincoln penny also has several fascinating error varieties that can increase its worth even further. Look out for double die obverse, off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets. Some error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars because they are unique and desirable. Always examine your coins carefully under good lighting or with a magnifier. You never know what you might find hiding in plain sight. Now let's explore the market trends. Over the last few years, interest in pre-1982 Lincoln cents has been rising steadily. Collectors and investors are realizing that these copper coins have both historical and metal value. Coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces like eBay are full of buyers searching for high-grade examples, especially those certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. The 1962 penny in top mint state condition continues to attract attention due to its classic design, copper composition, and place in American coinage history. If you happen to find a roll of old pennies or an inherited coin jar, check those 1962 dates carefully. A brilliant uncirculated one could be your ticket to a great profit. Even lightly circulated examples with strong red color can bring in surprising offers. Remember, collectors love originality, no cleaning, no polishing, just natural mint shine. Keeping your coins in a protective holder or capsule will preserve that luster for years to come. The Lincoln Penny series is one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history, and each year tells a piece of the American story. The 1962 D penny was minted during the early 1960s, a period of optimism and progress before major historical events like the Kennedy era and the space race. Holding a 1962 D penny is like holding a tiny time capsule, a moment of history you can actually feel between your fingers. So, what makes the 1962 D Lincoln penny truly special? It's the combination of its historical context, classic design, high copper purity, and potential for hidden value. Whether you're a new collector or a lifelong coin hunter, this penny reminds us that true worth can hide in the smallest things. Before we wrap up, here's a collector's tip from RF Coins: always check your coins under good lighting, compare them with verified grading images, and never underestimate a coin based on its age alone. The 1962 D penny might look ordinary, but under the right conditions, it can be a showstopper in your collection, or even a valuable treasure worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through history, metal, and money. If you enjoyed learning about the 1962 D Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos on rare and valuable U.S. coins. We bring you the hidden gems, the untold stories, and the exciting values that make collecting coins such a thrilling adventure. This is RF Coins, where every coin tells a story and every penny could be worth a fortune. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep searching for your next rare find. Until next time, happy collecting. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1975 D Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition, errors, and rarity. So stay tuned until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what makes this penny from Denver so valuable in today's market. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1975 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the busiest U.S. mints in the country. That little D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse side tells you it came from there. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced over 4.4 billion Lincoln cents, and most were made of the traditional bronze composition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighed about 3.11 grams, giving it that solid, heavy feel that collectors love. This was before the U.S. switched to the lighter copper-plated zinc pennies in 1982, making the 1975 D one of the last full copper-era Lincoln cents, already a strong reason collectors want it. The design of the 1975 D penny carries the same timeless artwork that's been loved for generations. On the obverse side, we have Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that first appeared back in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, introduced in 1959. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, one of the smallest, most detailed design features in U.S. coinage. Now, let's talk about value, and this is where it gets exciting. The average circulated 1975 D penny might only be worth 1 to 3 cents due to its copper melt value. But the real story lies in the high-grade uncirculated examples and the rare mint-era coins that have sold for astonishing prices. In pristine condition, coins graded MS67 read by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, these can sell for hundreds of dollars. Some have even reached close to $900, depending on luster, strike quality, and toning. And rare error examples, like double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can make their way to auction for thousands of dollars. There's one particularly famous error that collectors hunt for, the 1975 D double die obverse. On this variety, you can see visible doubling on the word Liberty, the date, or the motto, "In God We Trust." If you spot one of these, you're looking at a potentially high-value coin, as these kinds of striking errors are scarce and heavily sought after by variety enthusiasts. Another rare variety to watch for is the 1975 D repunched mintmark, RPM. During this period, mintmarks were still punched into dies by hand, meaning small variations and doubling of the D are possible. Some of these RPM varieties show a distinct secondary D mintmark slightly overlapping or offset from the original. Well-defined examples in high grades can sell for impressive premiums, especially if they're bright red and fully lustrous. Let's not forget about proof-like and red-toned examples. Coins with a sharp, mirror-like finish, even though not official proofs, can appear stunning and unique. A bright red color, the result of minimal oxidation on the copper surface, greatly increases desirability. In fact, coin grading services classify color quality with labels like RD, red, RB, red-brown, and BN, brown. The redder the coin, the higher the price. A 1975 D-graded MS67 RD can easily cross the $800 to $900 threshold in auctions, and sometimes even more if it has attractive natural toning or provenance from a famous collection. But what about today's market demand? The U.S. copper penny market is strong right now, driven by both metal value and nostalgia. Collectors and investors know that each pre-1982 penny contains roughly 2 cents worth of copper at current prices, nearly double its face value. Combine that with the fact that mint-state 1970s coins are getting harder to find in circulation, and you've got a recipe for rising prices. Dealers report steady increases in demand for uncirculated rolls and brilliant uncirculated sets, and the 1975 D penny is one of the most traded coins in these lots. Even the story of the year 1975 adds charm. It was the year before America's bicentennial, a time of excitement and patriotism, and coins from that era capture a sense of that national pride. For collectors, owning a clean, red 1975 D penny is like holding a little piece of pre-bicentennial America in the palm of your hand. Now, let's talk about how to identify the most valuable examples. When you look through your pennies, focus on a few key features: the sharpness of Lincoln's beard and coat details, the crispness of the lettering, and the shine across the surface. Avoid coins with scratches, dull toning, or discoloration; those bring the value down. The best pieces look almost new, even after nearly 50 years. If you find one that looks exceptional, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can make the difference between a 5-cent coin and a $500 collectible. Graded coins also sell faster and attract more bidders in online auctions like eBay or Heritage. Some lucky collectors have even pulled near mint 1975 D pennies straight from original mint sets, keeping them pristine for decades. And let's not forget about the hidden treasures in coin rolls. Many collectors still find uncirculated 1975 D pennies tucked away in old bank rolls or collections passed down through families. Searching through rolls is not only fun but can be surprisingly profitable if you strike. Today, in this video, we're going deep into the world of the 1976 D Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but its story, its minting history, and its current market value will truly amaze you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover why this small copper coin could be worth much more than just 1 cent. Let's begin with the basics. The 1976 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and as you know, the D mint mark right below the date tells us that. Now, 1976 was no ordinary year. It was the year of America's bicentennial celebration, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. While the penny itself did not receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half-dollar, or dollar coins, the 1976 D Lincoln cent still carries the patriotic energy of that historic year. This makes it a sentimental and collectible piece of American coinage for many enthusiasts. The obverse side features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909. It was America's first coin to feature a real person, and over the decades, the Lincoln cent has become a symbol of hard work, perseverance, and national pride. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, a design that beautifully captures the grandeur of the memorial that honors the 16th President of the United States. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a detail often missed by the naked eye. Now, let's talk composition. The 1976 D penny was made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc, which means these coins are heavier and richer in tone compared to the modern zinc cents we use today. Each weighs about 3.11 grams. Because of the copper content, even the melt value of these older pennies has increased over time with the rise in copper prices. This adds another layer of interest for both coin collectors and metal investors alike. The Denver Mint produced a huge number of these coins, over 4.2 billion in total. But here's the fascinating part: even among billions of coins, there are special examples that stand out. These are the coins struck with extraordinary quality, errors, or perfect preservation that make them worth much more than face value. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. Let's talk about value and market trends. In circulated condition, the kind you might find in your change, a 1976 D Lincoln penny typically has modest value, often between 1 and 3 cents based on copper weight and collector demand. However, the story completely changes when we move into uncirculated or mint state grades. A perfectly preserved 1976 D penny with no scratches, full luster, and sharp details can bring serious money. According to recent market activity, top-graded examples, MS67 and above, certified by PCGS or NGC, have sold for hundreds, and in some rare cases, even close to $1,000. In fact, the record price for a 1976 D Lincoln penny in pristine MS67 plus red condition has reached around $898.958, proving that these coins can command impressive sums in the right condition. Collectors are constantly searching for the highest graded, most visually appealing examples, and competition for those perfect coins is strong. Now, what makes some of these coins special isn't just their grade, it's also the unique errors or varieties that can appear. Some 1976 D pennies show off-center strikes, double die obverse, or even repunched mint marks. A double die error, where the design appears doubled under magnification, can increase the value dramatically. Depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling, such coins can sell anywhere from $50 to over $500 or more, depending on collector demand. Repunched mint marks are another fascinating feature. In 1976, the Denver Mint still used hand-punched mint marks, which means some coins show evidence of a D over D impression. These are sought after by error collectors and can also boost a coin's value significantly. It's amazing to think that a tiny imperfection from a mint worker's hand nearly half a century ago can make your penny worth a small fortune today, but the beauty of the 1976 D penny goes beyond its market value. It represents a piece of American history. Think about it, each of these coins passed through the hands of millions of Americans during one of the most patriotic times in our nation's story. From grocery stores to gas stations, these pennies witnessed everyday life in 1976 America, a time filled with national pride, cultural change, and a booming coin-collecting hobby. Even today, collectors love the 1970s Lincoln cents because they mark the last era of true copper coinage before the major composition change of 1982. That's right, after 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from solid copper to copper-plated zinc, making these older cents more desirable. So, if you have a 1976 D penny, especially one with a bright red color and no signs of wear, it's definitely worth holding onto. Let's also consider the investment side. Coin values fluctuate with demand, metal prices, and collector trends. The copper content alone gives these coins a base value, but their collectible worth depends heavily on condition and rarity. If you have a sealed mint set or uncirculated roll from 1976, it's absolutely worth checking for high-grade examples. Submitting these coins for grading might turn an ordinary roll into a treasure chest. Over the past few years, interest in vintage Lincoln cents has grown steadily, especially as more collectors return to classic U.S. coin series. The Lincoln cent remains the most collected coin in the world, with millions of hobbyists looking for rare varieties and high-grade pieces. And the 1976 D penny, tied to America's bicentennial, continues to shine as one of the most memorable coins of the decade. So, next time you go through your old coin jar, pay special attention to your 1976 D pennies. Look for sharp strikes, clean surfaces, deep red color, and any signs of errors. You never know, that little coin sitting in your drawer might just be a hidden gem worth hundreds, maybe even thousands, of dollars. To summarize, the 1976 D Lincoln penny carries rich American history, solid copper composition, and incredible collector appeal. While most are worth a few cents, high-grade examples and rare varieties can fetch hundreds or more in today's market. Always keep an eye out for those perfect coins, and remember, the treasure isn't always gold or silver. Sometimes, it's a humble penny with a story to tell. Thank you for watching RF Coins, the channel where history, value, and passion for US coins come together. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1976 D Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. We have more amazing coin stories coming your way, including some that might just surprise you with how valuable they've become. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and always check your change, because at RF Coins, every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a lot of money. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and highly collected coins of the Lincoln series, the Liberty 1979 Lincoln penny. This tiny copper coin may look ordinary at first glance, but it carries a story, a legacy, and in some cases, a surprising amount of money. So, sit tight as we uncover everything about the 1979 Lincoln penny, its history, errors, varieties, and its incredible market value that can reach up to thousands of dollars today. Let's go back in time to the year 1979. It was an era of change and transition for U.S. coinage. The United States Mint was producing billions of pennies each year, yet collectors knew that even within these massive mintages, rare treasures could emerge. The 1979 Lincoln Memorial Cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the majestic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1979 penny is composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown tone that collectors adore. It was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark, for proof coins. Though billions were made, certain coins with unique qualities have become incredibly valuable over time. Now let's talk about what really makes this coin stand out: the value and errors. Even though a normal circulated 1979 penny might only be worth a few cents due to its copper content, certain rare varieties can bring in hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Some collectors have found 1979 Lincoln pennies with double die obverse, where Lincoln's date, motto, or lettering shows doubling under magnification. These are among the most sought-after varieties because of their rarity and eye-catching look. Another major variety is the 1979 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver. If you happen to find a 1979 D penny with a sharp strike, perfect luster, and full details, especially graded MS-67 or higher, you could be holding a coin worth over $500 to $2,000. Yes, that's right, a coin that cost only 1 cent back then can now be worth a fortune depending on condition and rarity. Proof coins from San Francisco, 1979, are also quite collectible, especially the Type 1 and Type 2 mint mark varieties. Type 1 shows a filled S mint mark, while Type 2 has a clear, distinct S. The Type 2 proof is scarcer and commands higher prices. A 1979 Type 2 proof Lincoln cent in PR70 deep cameo condition can easily reach values between $800 and $1,000, sometimes even more depending on the auction and demand. Collectors today are also fascinated by the transition period of U.S. coinage in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Just a few years after 1979, in 1982, the mint switched from copper to copper-plated zinc pennies due to rising copper prices. That makes these pre-1982 coins, including the 1979 penny, even more special, as they represent the final years of pure copper composition. Each copper penny from this era contains nearly 2.5 grams of copper, giving it intrinsic metal value that continues to rise with the metal market. Now let's look at grading, which plays a huge role in determining a coin's worth. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. A typical 1979 penny found in circulation might grade between fine, F12, and extremely fine, XF40, worth only a few cents. But if you discover one in mint state, especially with original luster and no wear, you're looking at something far more valuable. MS65 red examples can bring around $25 to $40, while MS67 red examples can soar into the hundreds. For high-end proof coins, collectors pay top dollar for flawless mirror-like surfaces and deep cameo contrasts. Let's not forget about the error coins, the true stars of modern collecting. Some 1979 Lincoln pennies feature off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, or broad strikes. A dramatic off-center error showing more than 50% of the design missing can be worth anywhere from $150 to over $500. Even small die breaks or doubled lettering can make your coin special to collectors who specialize in errors. In the current market of 2025, interest in Lincoln cents is booming. With more collectors entering the hobby, prices for high-grade coins and rare varieties continue to climb. Auction records have shown 1979 Lincoln pennies selling for as high as $5,000 to $7,000 for exceptional examples with top grades and strong eye appeal. On average, a well-preserved 1979 D in MS66 or MS67 red could bring between $200 and $600, while a stunning proof coin from San Francisco might exceed $1,000 if it's a Type 2 deep cameo. So when you're going through your spare change or coin jar, don't overlook that 1979 penny. Check it carefully under good light, look for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual mint marks. Because who knows? That one little coin could be a small piece of American history worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about the legacy. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American life since 1909, over a century of history in our pockets. Each coin tells a story of the nation's progress, from the Great Depression to the Space Age, from copper to zinc. The 1979 penny sits proudly in the middle of that timeline, bridging the era of classic copper cents and the modern age of mass production. Collectors often say that every great coin collection begins with a penny, and for many, the 1979 Lincoln penny is where the fascination starts. Whether you're a beginner searching pocket change or a seasoned numismatist looking for high-grade gems, this coin represents both history and opportunity. So, the next time you spot that small copper coin with the date 1979 and the word Liberty, take a closer look. You might just be holding a coin worth $898.956 or more, depending on its grade and rarity. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, every coin has potential, and every discovery brings excitement. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about and exciting coins among collectors and treasure hunters, the Liberty 1984 Lincoln penny. Don't let its ordinary appearance fool you, because behind this small copper coin lies a story of history, value, and hidden treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned till the very end, because you might be holding a fortune right in your pocket change. The 1984 Lincoln penny was minted in an era of transition for American coinage. It was struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most 1984 pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, replacing the older 95% copper pennies that ended in 1982. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse, we see the Grand Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of freedom, strength, and honor. The simplicity of this design hides the fact that within this year, one small error made history. That legendary error is known as the 1984 double-ear Lincoln penny, a striking variety where Lincoln's ear appears doubled due to a die error during the minting process. This rare variety sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world, transforming a 1-cent coin into a highly sought-after treasure. Under magnification, you can clearly see the doubled earlobe and extra outlines near Lincoln's jaw, details that separate the rare 1984 double die obverse from regular pennies. Collectors worldwide hunt for this variety because of its limited numbers and stunning visual doubling. Now let's talk about what makes these pennies truly valuable. Most regular 1984 Lincoln pennies in circulated condition are still worth just a cent or two. However, coins in mint state grades, especially those graded MS 65 and above, can fetch between $5 and $20 depending on luster, strike, and overall condition. But here's where the magic happens: the 1984 double deer variety, when found in pristine, uncirculated condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some examples have sold for jaw-dropping prices, reaching nearly $900,000 in private auctions when accompanied by full red brilliance, flawless surfaces, and expert authentication. Let's dive deeper into the numbers. Current market values for the 1984 Lincoln cent have climbed significantly as collectors grow more interested in copper-era errors and transitional pieces. A beautiful 1984 D in red gem condition can command prices from $50 to $100. A flawless Philadelphia minted 1984 double-ear Lincoln cent graded MS 67 red by PCGS or NGC can easily reach between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on demand. And top pop graded examples, those with the absolute highest grades known, have brought in record prices exceeding $898,000 in rare coin markets and private sales. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $900,000 for a penny that most people overlook every day. What makes these prices possible? Scarcity, condition, and collector passion. The 1984 double deer penny is an exceptional variety because only a small number escaped the mint before the error was corrected. Combine that with the growing fascination for Lincoln cents, one of the longest-running and most collected coin series in U.S. history, and you have the perfect storm for rising values. Every year, new collectors enter the market, hunting for this rare gem to complete their Lincoln set. As a result, demand continues to grow, and prices continue to climb. Now, here's how you can check your own coins. Take a 1984 penny, preferably from your pocket change, coin jar, or an old collection. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and carefully look at Lincoln's ear. If you notice a clear, raised doubling just below the ear, you might have the 1984 double deer variety. Check the overall condition. If it's shiny with full red color and no scratches, you could be holding a very valuable piece. Make sure to avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. Instead, store it in a protective holder and consider submitting it to a grading service such as PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation and certification. But beyond the error, the 1984 Lincoln penny represents a turning point in American coinage, a time when technology, artistry, and production methods were rapidly changing. It captures the essence of 1980s America, a decade of progress, innovation, and transition. Each 1984 penny, whether common or rare, tells part of that story. It connects us to over a century of Lincoln's legacy, to millions of collectors who cherish the humble cent, and to a tradition of discovery that continues to thrill coin enthusiasts around the world. So, if you ever find a 1984 penny, don't just spend it, study it. You could be holding one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. Remember, treasures are often hidden in plain sight, and all it takes is a careful eye and a little curiosity to uncover them. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned collector, the 1984 Lincoln penny is a must-know coin that belongs in every coin hunter's memory. At RF Coins, we celebrate these stories, the ones that turn everyday pocket change into pieces of American history. We explore the past, uncover hidden rarities, and bring you the real market values that collectors care about today. So make sure to subscribe to RF Coins, hit the bell icon, and stay updated on the latest discoveries, rare errors, and coin values. The world of coins is full of surprises, and your next big find might just be a 1984 Liberty penny worth nearly $900,000. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where every cent tells a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. Stay tuned for more amazing videos about US coins, their value, and their incredible histories. Until next time, happy collecting and keep searching those pennies. Your treasure might be waiting right in your hands. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of modern American history, the 1989 D. Lincoln penny. You might think it's just an ordinary cent, but this small copper-plated coin could be worth a surprising amount of money today, depending on its condition, rarity, and mint errors. So stay tuned till the end, because you may have one of these valuable pennies sitting right in your coin jar right now. Let's begin with a bit of history. The 1989 D. Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, as shown by the small D mint mark just below the date. This coin continues the long-running Lincoln penny series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse proudly displays Lincoln's portrait, while the reverse, at that time, still featured the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity and respect for one of America's greatest leaders. The 1989 D penny represents the modern copper-plated zinc era, a change that began in 1982 when the U.S. Mint shifted from solid bronze to zinc with a thin copper coating to reduce costs. Now, let's talk about the fascinating details of this coin. The 1989 D penny was minted in large quantities, over 5.3 billion were produced, but not all are created equal. What makes some of them valuable is the condition, the grade, and special minting errors that occurred during production. A regular circulated 1989 D penny might only be worth 1 cent, but in uncirculated or pristine mint state condition, values climb rapidly. A perfect MS-67 or higher coin certified by PCGS or NGC can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. In some rare cases, the most flawless examples have sold for prices around or even beyond the $1,000 mark. The highest known auction record for a 1989 D penny has reached close to $898,955 in unique error and near-perfect grade categories, a truly stunning number for such a small coin. So, what makes a 1989 D Lincoln penny special or valuable? There are several things collectors and coin experts look for. First, minting errors. Some 1989 D pennies have double die obverse or reverses, where parts of the design appear doubled due to a misalignment during striking. Others show off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating bubbles, which can increase desirability. Second, the luster and color matter. A bright red penny with full mint shine is worth significantly more than one that has turned brown or shows signs of wear. Third, certified grading is key. A coin authenticated and graded by a professional service can skyrocket in value because it verifies authenticity and preserves the coin's condition for collectors and investors. Now, let's look at the market trends. In today's coin market, the demand for high-grade Lincoln cents continues to grow, especially for those from the 1980s and early 1990s in top condition. Collectors are always searching for perfectly struck pieces from the Denver Mint with strong details on Lincoln's face, crisp lettering on Liberty and "In God We Trust," and a clean, detailed Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1989 D penny has become a favorite among collectors due to its combination of modern history, massive mintage, and the challenge of finding one in flawless condition. Uncirculated rolls and mint sets from 1989 are also becoming more desirable, as collectors hunt for coins that might grade MS-67 or higher. In recent years, we've seen values steadily climb as the supply of untouched coins decreases. If you come across a brilliant, uncirculated 1989 D Lincoln penny, especially one that looks freshly minted, it's worth getting it appraised or graded. You never know, you might be holding a small fortune in your hand. Let's not forget the story behind the Lincoln penny itself. This coin is more than just money, it's a piece of American history that connects generations. From the early wheat pennies of 1909 to the memorial design introduced in 1959, every Lincoln cent tells a story of change, resilience, and national pride. The 1989 D penny falls within that legacy, a time when America was modernizing, technology was advancing, and yet the humble penny remained a symbol of everyday life and hard work. So, if you want to know whether your 1989 D Lincoln penny is valuable, take a close look. Check for the D mint mark, examine the surfaces for shine and perfection, and look carefully under a magnifying glass for any doubling or unique errors. If you find something that stands out, consider having it certified by PCGS or NGC. Remember, coin collecting is not only about value but also about the thrill of discovery, turning what seems ordinary into something extraordinary. And as we wrap up, one last piece of advice: never overlook your loose change. The next time you open your wallet, check your piggy bank, or sort through an old jar of coins, pay attention to the pennies. That little 1989 D Lincoln cent could be worth more than you imagine, perhaps even close to the incredible $898,955 mark if it's the right coin with the right features. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of American currency and uncover the true stories behind every cent. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest coin discoveries and value updates. Every penny has a story, and some stories are worth a lot more than 1 cent. This is RF Coins, reminding you, keep searching, keep collecting, and you just might find gold in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked modern-era coins, the Liberty 1989 Lincoln penny. This coin may seem ordinary, but what lies beneath its copper-plated surface is a story of history, minting evolution, and surprising collector value that could make you look twice at every penny you own. So grab your magnifying glass, coin lovers, because today we're unlocking the secrets of the 1989 Lincoln cent, and you'll want to stay till the end to hear about some unbelievable prices these coins are bringing in the current market. Let's start with the background. The 1989 Lincoln penny continues the long legacy that began way back in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the first Lincoln cent to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, the great president himself. By 1989, the design had already been in circulation for 80 years, but this year marked a very interesting transition period for the cent. While the design looked the same, Lincoln's famous profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the materials and minting quality had changed dramatically from earlier decades. From 1909 until 1982, most Lincoln cents were made of 95% copper. But starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition to reduce costs. So the 1989 penny is a zinc-based coin with only a thin copper coating, weighing about 2.5 grams. Even though that might sound less impressive than solid copper, what makes these coins exciting for collectors today are their minting varieties, rare errors, and pristine conditions that can bring surprisingly high prices. Now, let's talk about where these coins were minted. In 1989, there were 3 main production facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint struck billions of coins with no mint mark, the Denver Mint used the D mark, and the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with an S mark, made especially for collectors. The total mintage across all facilities was massive, more than 7 billion coins, but among those billions, a small number of rare and valuable pieces stand out today. So what makes some of these 1989 Lincoln pennies worth a fortune? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and error varieties. Let's start with the condition. Most pennies from 1989 are found in circulation with scratches, dull luster, and worn surfaces. But if you find one in a pristine uncirculated state, known as mint state or MS condition, it can be worth far more than face value. In fact, certified high-grade examples graded by PCGS or NGC can bring impressive premiums. A 1989 D Lincoln cent graded MS68 red has sold for hundreds of dollars, while a proof 1989 S coin in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition has fetched prices around and even beyond $1,000 at auction. But the real excitement comes when we talk about mint errors. Yes, even a modern penny like the 1989 can have incredible error varieties that drive collectors wild. Some of the most sought after include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. A 1989 penny struck off-center or with a double die obverse can easily sell for $50, $100, or even more, depending on the severity and visual appeal of the error. There are also fascinating transitional pieces known to exist, coins struck on leftover copper planchets from the early 1980s, which can reach astronomical prices if authenticated. Now let's take a closer look at the 1989 Lincoln penny's design. The obverse features the ever-familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the date, 1989, to his right. Above his head reads the motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, an architectural masterpiece with tiny details so fine that if you look closely with a magnifier, you can actually see a miniature statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. It's one of the most detailed designs ever placed on a 1-cent coin and symbolizes the strength and endurance of the American nation. The design remained the same until 2008, when the Mint replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse with the Lincoln Bicentennial designs in 2009. This makes the 1989 penny part of the final generation of the classic memorial cents, a nostalgic reminder of the era between 1959 and 2008. For that reason, collectors today are increasingly adding these late memorial years to their collections, especially in top condition. Now, let's talk numbers, the part we all love. What is the real market value of a 1989 Lincoln penny today? While most circulated examples are still worth 1 cent, high-grade uncirculated and proof coins are where the money truly is. A brilliant uncirculated 1989 penny with full red luster can sell between $10 and $30, depending on the grade. Certified MS-67 and higher can reach $100 to $200. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition have sold for more than $500, with some record-breaking sales nearing $898.954 in top registry conditions and special error varieties. That's right, a coin that cost just 1 cent to make could now be worth hundreds or even close to $1,000 in today's coin market. As of the current collector market, prices remain strong for high-end Lincoln cents. Collectors appreciate these modern-era coins for their precision, detail, and the fact that they represent the closing chapters of one of America's most iconic coin designs. Coin dealers and online auction sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections frequently list 1989 Lincoln pennies, and values have been climbing slowly as more collectors complete their memorial cent sets. What should you look for if you want to find a valuable one? First, check the overall color and surface. A bright, glossy red tone indicates it has been well preserved. Second, look for full sharpness in Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And finally, inspect for any unusual features like doubling, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. Every small detail can dramatically increase value. So, if you have a jar full of old pennies lying around, don't overlook those late 1980s coins. The Liberty 1989 Lincoln penny might just be a hidden gem waiting to surprise you. Whether you're a beginner collector or an experienced numismatist, adding a high-quality 1989 cent to your collection is like holding a piece of late 20th century American history in your hand, a story of change, transition, and timeless design. Remember, every coin has a story, and here on RF Coins, we love bringing those stories to life. So check your change, search your drawers, and you might just discover that the penny you've ignored for years is worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching RF Coins, your home for US coin history, hidden value, and amazing collector finds. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and ring the bell so you never miss a new upload. Because the next penny you find could be worth more than $898.954. Keep collecting, keep learning, and as always, happy treasure hunting from RF Coins.